Oh no, I was muted the whole time. Ah, okay. Sorry guys. Can you hear me now? This is what happens when you just wake up. Okay. Okay, why don't I just start again from the beginning then? Okay. But can you guys uh I hope you can hear me now. Okay, brilliant. So, okay, sorry about that. Okay, that was not the worst. Okay, at least it was 7 minutes. I once went for like half an hour without turning on the stream. So, but thanks for everyone who was patient enough to stick through this. Okay, so what did I say? Okay, so this poet, right? We're doing this poet called Li Shangyin, and he's actually paired with Du Mu, which is another poet we were reading for the last 2 weeks. I'm not sure how many of his poems we have. Oh, okay, so just one for today, but he's pretty famous. And uh yeah, so why don't we just read this poem and see what comes out? And yeah, please feel free to share your ideas or your impressions in the chat also. So this poem's called 假声，意是求贤，防逐尘。假声才调更无伦，可惜夜半虚前席。不问苍生问鬼神。When the emperor sought guidance from wise men, from exiles, he found no calmer wisdom than that of young Jia, and assigned him the foremost council seat at midnight, yet asked him about gods instead of about people. So I thought this was interesting because even though it's titled after this guy Jia Sheng, is the main character seems actually to be the emperor, right? Because it's about the how the emperor is treating Jia Sheng. This depiction of the emperor is quite, to me, it's quite clearly like unflattering. So especially in the last line when it says like, ask him about gods instead of about people. In because in there's this famous line from Confucius, right, which says you should 敬鬼神而远之. So you should respect the ghosts and spirits or the gods. You should respect them, but you should keep your distance from them. The idea of that means that like Confucius isn't saying that there aren't any gods or any ghosts and spirits, but it's more important for you to really focus on what's in front of you. Like, so you should focus on the world of people. So the fact that this poem so clearly sort of calls the emperor out on this, it's not very flattering. It's saying that the emperor is not a great Confucian. Yeah, so that's sort of my reading on this, and it seemed like pretty clear. Like it's a pretty straightforward like comment on the emperor. So why don't we look at some historical critiques of this? And also I have a cold, so I need to blow my nose. And so just now when I was reading, right, I actually didn't know that Jia Sheng is a historical character. So Jia Sheng, right, Jia Sheng is from the Han Dynasty, so from 200 BC. Yeah. Oh, looking at the comments, you're like, this is all an enigma. Yeah, honestly, it's pretty hard, all these poems. I don't think I'm super qualified to comment as well, but you have to be confused before you learn anything. Yeah. And so, okay, so this character Jia Yi, right, or also called Jia Sheng, he is from the Han Dynasty, and uh, let's see, basically he was very talented when he was young, and then he got like these official positions, but he died pretty young. He died like 33, and like I don't think he did anything that notable politically. I'm not very sure. But, but anyway, he's just a historical guy. Okay. And now it says, oh, okay. So the final line where it says that uh he doesn't ask about the people, but he asks about the ghosts and spirits, right? It's the context is that this is actually the emperor. He keeps trying to make like immortality pills, and so he doesn't care about actually governing. And that's very clearly like, I mean, like what we said, he's just a not a great emperor, right? Hmm, interesting. So I think there's this quote from this historical it's called what 史记, the records of the grand historian. And I think it says that, yeah, so this emperor, the Wen emperor of the Han dynasty, went to or had a meeting with Jia Sheng or Jia Yi, and then he asked Jia Sheng about the how do you translate this? About the fundamentals or about the maybe the secrets of like ghosts and spirits. And because Jia Sheng knew the way, uh, or he knew like he just knew what was going on, and then so the emperor was like they were had this meeting until like the middle of the night. Essentially, yeah, the emperor was very engrossed in this sort of pursuit, and I think at least in this passage, it seems like Jia Sheng was sort of feeding his obsession as well. So maybe not totally flattering for Jia Yi. Mm. But I mean, of course, this is not I mean, this is not just he's not writing this just to talk about this historical thing. So he is trying to say something about his current time. And so this part would says that okay, I don't honestly I don't really care about political intrigue in the Tang dynasty. So just some weird stuff happened, and then he doesn't really like what the government is doing. So yeah. Okay, and but I did there is one interesting point is that uh even though the emperor is uh able to seek and find like worthy talents, like worthy ministers, but he's not able to use them well. So I think that's an interesting big point because Jia Sheng is very talented, but then even though he's right, the emperor has this sort of talent in his court, but nothing you know, he's not being used well. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I realize I'm reading a lot from this article, but uh, I found another interesting point, which is that so apparently in Jia Sheng's life or Jia Yi's life, he was once sort of demoted and sent to this place called Changsha, and because of or essentially, uh, if you're official and then you get demoted, it's like the worst thing in the world. So and it's like it's like this huge injustice if it was an unfair demotion. So yeah, so apparently it has been a is a common topic for poets to uh like just the story of Jia Sheng being demoted is actually a common poetic uh topic. So I guess uh Li Shangyan is trying to draw on this familiar topic, but sort of giving it a different spin because here he's not talking about the demotion, but the emperor's like misuse of talent. Yeah. Okay. Mm, Let's see. Just checking if you guys said anything. Okay. Then next part. So just the famous critics. See if there's anything interesting that they're saying. Yeah. Okay, it's all pretty straightforward. It's just like, yeah, I mean, this is the moral, right? Which is to, he's sort of implying that people who seek immortality are Dhamma, pretty much. So yeah, okay. I think it's a kind of a straightforward poem. I think I'm sort of missing out like the cleverness of it because I didn't really catch the historical reference or maybe the literary reference from the start, but it's pretty good, yeah. I mean, personally, I don't really like these political poems, but uh it's I can see why people would like it. So maybe let's move on to this next one by Wen Tingyun, full of also characters I don't recognize. Sorry. Yao Se Yuan. Yao Se Yuan. She sighs on her jade lute. That's this. 冰殿银床梦不成，碧天如水夜云轻。雁声远过潇湘去，十二楼中月自明。A cool matted silvery bit, but no dreams. An evening sky as green as water, shadowed with tender clouds. But far off over the southern rivers, the calling of a wild goose. And here, a 12-story building, lonely under the moon. Huh. Okay, I'm a bit confused. What's going on? I mean, there's loneliness. I get that. um, and then she's sighing. I mean, she's sighing. I mean, here is like, it's in the title, so uh, it's a sad poem. I can tell. I know that. With tender clouds. Hmm. Oh, wow. I'm still struggling to say anything meaningful except that it seems very lonely. And she also seems rich since she has a jade lute, right? Like, not everyone has a instrument made of jade lying around. And yeah, it's a silvery bit, cool method. And I mean, clearly, if she wants to, this is the dreams are not formed, but it's that she wants to dream about something. So, as I assume this is a love poem, right? I assume she wants to dream about, she wants to meet her loved one in a dream. All right, let's see in the next line. So, the evening sky as green as water, shadowed with tender clouds. Okay, I feel, I think this sort of flips the usual structure a bit. Like, it's like, usually there tends to be, when there's like a landscape description, it tends to be at the start, right? But here is you're starting with the sort of where the person is, and then going on with the description of the landscape. So that makes me want to read it as like the middle parts is what the main character is thinking about. So she is thinking about the great distance between her and whatever she's longing for, right? So she said, wow, there's this huge sky with like clouds, and then there's even like the river, and yeah, like a goose, I don't know. So it's a pretty long distance, and then finally it comes back to where she is. It's just like this huge building, but then it's sort of just her. Yeah. So there's nothing very deep here. Or there's nothing. She's trying to say she's lonely. The or the poet is trying to say that is talking about loneliness. But I think it is quite well written, the structure here. Yeah. And maybe even this last part, when it says like 月, the 月字名. So it's translated as lonely under the moon, which I think could work. But 月字名 is like, this whole line is like in the 12-story building, the moon is self-illuminated, or it shines by itself. So by itself, not as in like lonely. There is the sense of lonely, but it's like um or I think I'm trying to say that it's not under the moon, but it seems like it is the moon that is being lonely. So she might be comparing herself to the moon as well. Yeah. And in which case it's an even greater distance, right? Because the moon is like super far away. Yeah. And if you remember last week we talked about Chang'e, which is like the lady who lives on the moon. So I think she is also a symbol of loneliness. So I think that's also being alluded to in this poem. I wonder if any thoughts about this. Let's see. I'll just okay. Okay. Then maybe we can move on to the next part. The what do you say? The famous critics. Yeah. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. It says that, in the whole poem, it does not directly say like this yuan character, because we see it a lot, right? It's like complain, blame, or like just being unhappy. So I think it's conveyed in quite a subtle way. Oh, interesting. Okay. So let's see what's here. Okay, so this poet, this critic also picked out on this, the three characters I talked about, the 月自明. So the moon shines by itself, I guess. And he says that, yeah, you don't need to say the complain again, I guess. You don't need to say it, but you know that it's very deep, or it's deeply impressed upon the reader. Yeah. I think, yeah, I think the self-comparison to the moon in such a subtle way is pretty well done. I wonder, I wonder if the image of like shining by itself is also somewhat positive. I mean, she's shining, right? So, huh. But I mean, definitely the emphasis is on the being by itself. Okay. Ah, so this is saying the specific instrument here, the lute, I guess, the se, because of the way it is or the layout of its, I guess, the strings, or the base essentially it's laid out like diagonally, and that's why, and that's sort of reminiscent of the wild goose. You know, they fly in like the like this, right? Like a arrow tip formation. Uh so this critic thinks that that's why she's reminded of the goose. So that's really interesting. And so the calling of the wild goose, he thinks, is actually the playing of this instrument. And so that's why there's the association between them. Okay. Huh. Okay, that's pretty interesting. Oh, Jess says maybe the building is also like trying to reach for the moon, and the 12-story building is standing alone. I think that's possible because this is the only man-made structure we see, right? It's like in the middle part is just all natural landscape. So it could very well be, yeah. So I guess the building is also like alone in this sense. And is it reaching for the moon? Yeah, this is weird because you see this character, right? Zhong. So like it's like in the 12-story building, then the moon shines by itself. So I was quite confused when I read it because like I mean normally the moon is not in a building. So that's I think so that's what seems to me strengthens the point that the moon is the person. Yeah, so I am kind of confused about why how the moon relates to the building because just because of this Zhong, this character. Like if the building already contains the moon, that's interesting though. If the building is like the person, maybe. Hmm. Yeah. I wonder if there's any significance to it being a 12-story building. Maybe not. Maybe the guy just happened the author just happened to be in the building that was 12 floors high. Yeah. Hmm. Any final thoughts about this? Seems like a oh yeah. Oh. Okay, you said maybe the moon is symbolically as far up in the sky as a 12-story building. Interesting. So you're saying the 12 stories might be talking about the distance. That's interesting. Uh, I think just the weird part I still really don't get is just like, why is the moon in the building? That's just, or is there supposed to be like it being trapped? Uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Uh, okay, maybe I think I'll just move on to the next one. unless any of you have like want more thoughts on this. But yeah, I definitely think like the final line with the moon is like kind of the crux of the piece. Also kind of the first part, right? When it's like the 梦不成, like the dream is not completed. So the dream is not fulfilled. There's also one comment here where it says like 梦不成, it can also mean like it's not that she's not dreaming, but that her dream was not fulfilled, right? So she didn't get, I don't know, she didn't get to be with, she didn't get what she wants. So I think, and yeah, it's interesting that these two sort of parallel, like 孟不成 and 岳自明, they're both in the same position, right? And like the structure of the two, at least these three characters are parallel because like noun and then I guess adverb and then verb. So yeah, I do see a kind of parallel here in the first and last lines. And it's quite interesting that it's because usually the parallels will be like it will be like line 1 and line 2 or line 3 and line 4. So it's interesting that it's line 1 and line 4. And maybe that sort of increases the sense of what we were talking about, where the landscape is sort of separating the people. So yeah, the middle two lines is about the is the idea of the separation. Okay. And the silver color of the bit must mean something, like the bit is the moon. Oh, that's possible. So you're trying to read a more deeper parallel between the first line and the final line, right? Is it silver? I don't know what people usually describe the moon as, what color, but it's quite possible that it's silver. I think the hard part for me about reading these poems is like which details are meaningful and which details are like just there. It's like is the 12 stories meaningful, or it's just 12 stories? It's like those memes, right? It's like, oh, is the blue curtain signify depression, or is just a blue curtain? Wow. I guess one thing the silver bit does is at least show that it's quite a like she's not living in like a badly decorated home, right? At least there's like, there's the bed and then there's like the mat, and she's sort of in physical comfort, even as maybe that's what emphasizes the emotional discomfort. Yeah. And then you say, welcome to reading Chinese poems. Yeah, right. It's like, or just poems. Like sometimes it's like, where's the line between reading and like reading too much? It's kind of hard. Yeah. But I think maybe I'll just, let's move on to the next one. Any, okay. Yeah, just so we can keep on, so I can try to finish by 11. So this is the third poem for today. It's by Zheng Tian, right? Zheng Tian on Ma Wei slope, 马嵬坡，玄宗回马，杨妃死，云雨难忘日月新。总是圣明天子事，景阳宫景又何人？When the emperor came back from his ride, they had murdered Lady Yang, that passion unforgettable through all the suns and moons. They had led him to forsake her by reminding him of an emperor slain with his lady once in a well at Jingyang Palace. So again, a historical allusion. Like, I mean, this is like an explicit allusion, right? The historical reference happens in the story. And if you remember who Xuanzong Emperor and Lady Yang is, who they are. So yeah, previously I mentioned the Anlushan rebellion, which is this really huge uh like just event in like the Tang dynasty that really changed everything, right? It's like it's Avatar, like, oh, everything changed when Anlushan attacked. It's so what it is was like uh so there's this rebellion by this border general called Anlushan, and then he sort of came back and attacked the capital. And even though the rebellion was stopped, people did blame, like they were trying to pin blame on someone, and then they pinned it eventually on this concubine of the emperor, who is Lady Yang. And they said, "Oh, you're distracting the emperor with like your beauty and stuff." But also because she was so favored by the emperor that uh if the court like the empress ended up just like appointing her relatives to like important positions. So there was this sense that the uh yeah, there was this sense that she was sort of corrupting the court and like packing it with her own faction. And so yeah, they did end up killing her. Like they sentenced her to death. And apparently it was when the emperor was away. And yeah, and obviously he was very sad. So that's sort of the context for the first two, I guess, for the poem. So he came back and then they had murdered Lady Yang. So all the officials thought that, or most of the officials thought that, she was the problem and then she needs to be punished for, this disaster that is the rebellion. But I mean, the emperor is not gonna forget her so easily, right? Because he did love her a lot. And it seems like to sort of console him, it is by telling him about this historical incident, which let's see what the incident is. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not really sure about this last line. So, okay. So the historical context is that uh okay, during the southern dynasties, so this is before the Tang dynasty. So there's this one emperor called Chen Houzhu. Oh, actually, this was mentioned in a previous poem as well, but I don't know the story too well. So this guy called Chen Houzhu, uh he heard that uh essentially enemy soldiers were attacking into the capital city, and then he's just like hiding inside the well with his uh like favorite concubines, and in the end they were still found. Yeah. So I think so this illusion is meant to be, it's more of a recent illusion. So I guess it's more supposed to have more force, and also that yeah, it's just if you're a terrible emperor, uh you're gonna meet a bad end. And presumably you're a bad emperor because you're obsessed with your girlfriend instead of doing your job. So okay. So then let's see. Uh I don't know. I don't really dig these political poems, but let's see what it's saying. These historical critics, they just say it's a pretty good poem. I don't know. Not much. Well, I'm not sure if the use of the illusion is the best one here. But I think it is interesting that, again, the illusion is used within the context of the story. So it is the So instead of the illusion being in the poem, the poetic level, it is within the story itself where the characters are citing the illusion. So I think that's pretty interesting. Yeah. Okay, I don't have much more to say. If any of you have any thoughts, please share. Uh, but if not, we can also move on to the next one. Yeah, let's see. I'll just give it one last pass. Yeah, I think it's pretty well. I guess maybe one last question is what is the title going on about? So what is Ma Wei slope? Let's see. Ma Wei Shi Bian. So I believe this is where the whole thing with right. So this is during the Anlushan rebellion. It's just the emperor Tang Xuanzong. He escaped to Ma Wei, the Ma Wei slope, and as along the journey, the generals and I guess officials they put to death the prime minister, which is the relative of Lady Yang, and they also forced Lady Yang to like commit suicide. So yeah, okay. So the title is just an explicit reference to the to the historical event that this is depicting. Yeah, okay. And then let's go on. Let me close some tabs. And we can just go on to the next poem then, which is by Han Wo. Interesting. And yeah, I just guessed it's pronounced Wu because the right side is literally the Wu character. Never seen this in my life though. Uh, okay. Now cooler weather, 宜凉，碧栏杆外绣帘垂，新色屏风画折枝。八尺龙宾方景入，以凉天气未寒时。Her jade green alcove curtained thick with silk, her vermilion screen with its pattern of flowers, her 8-foot dragon beard mat, and her quilt brocaded in squares are ready now for nights that are neither warm nor cold. Did I just was my screen showing my downloads for like the entire stream? Well, I mean, it's nothing embarrassing, but it's just I just realized it was there the whole time. Oh. Okay. So all right, onto this poem. What? Is it really just talking about the weather being cold? Hmm. Is it? I mean, it looks like it's just talking about like blankets. I mean not to judge on which topics are worthy of being written about. So let's see. Okay. So okay, jade green alcove. Okay. Curtains thick with silk. Yeah, pretty much. Her vermilion screen. Is this vermilion? Right, because usually this is like, I mean, it means ape, right? But probably it's using it as a substitute for another character here. But I mean, let's take a look. The 新色. Okay, so it's 猩红色. So it's a kind of red. Okay, I didn't know that. So this character then. So, all right, so the vermilion screen, and it has a pattern of flowers. Okay, I mean, literally it's like broken or bent branches, but I mean, it is depicting flowers, right? Then I'm not really sure what a dragon beard mat is. It seems pretty nice. And then 以凉天气未寒时. So there are, okay, it's ready now for nights that are neither warm nor cold. Okay, I have nothing to say, but somehow I like this. I think it's just a bit refreshing. Like, I mean, it's not like deep or anything, but it's just kind of, it's refreshingly different from the other poems we've been reading. And yeah, like just sort of talking about the preparations for winter, I suppose. Yeah, I don't think there's a deeper meaning here. It's just sort of nice on a linguistic level, or it just sounds nice. It's like if someone made a poem now with all like, you know, the names of all the furniture from IKEA. I think it'll be pretty entertaining, even if it's not like super deep. But yeah, okay. Oh, what? You see this, but this is about is a love poem, really? No way, really? What? I think it's a bit much. Let's look at. Yeah, I think that's just overreading, man. Let's look at what other people say. Uh, but this one, but this collection does say that even though it's just talking about like the background, the scenery, and it doesn't disclose like the what's going on in their head, but the emotions are running very deep here. Is it? I don't see anything. Okay, all right. Let's look through the comments. Then we'll go back and reread because now I'm quite intrigued. Okay, it says in the scenery there is like in describing the scenery is also describing the person. Really, really, really. Okay, let's try to see why they think that. Okay, so at first they say like, okay, the setting of the first line, is it? So this whole thing about the alcove and the silk is like, it's like kind of normal, like nothing much going on. And then when it gets to the pattern of the flowers, they're reading some symbolism here or some significance here. What? So apparently they think it's a reference to another poem. Let's see what that poem is. It's 金楼一. Oh, okay. 有花堪折直须折，莫待无花空折枝. So what does that mean? It says so when it's time for the flower to be plucked, so when they bloom then and it's like easy to like pluck, then you should do it. If not, if you wait till all the petals fall off, then you only have an empty branch. I mean, when you say, I mean, it's obviously true, but I guess it's talking about carpe diem, right? Like seize the day. Like you gotta choose the right timing, seize the opportunity when you can. I think this is about specifically about youth and like love. This reading, therefore, is saying that it's not just right. I was a bit confused as well. So when it says a pattern of flowers, right, it literally says it's a pattern of like a bent or broken branch. So I guess you could read it as it's actually just of the branches, but not with the flowers on it. And so it's a symbol of missed opportunity, basically. Okay. I mean, I did pick up on this before, so I was just confused whether like bent branch is just a common way of saying flower. But this seems like a pretty plausible reading to me. And then they're like, okay, now now the seasons are changing. So sort of like you've missed your chance, even. That's interesting. That's interesting. And then what's I don't think I need the rest. Let's just go back to the poem. I feel like the mysteries are solved just with this bent branch thing. Yeah. So they're sort of saying the first one is like scene setting, and then the bent branch is like is a symbol of the missed opportunities. And then this next one, I feel like the last line is the most important, where it's like, it's neither warm nor cold. It's like, I feel like that could reflect what they're thinking, in that like it's like mediocre, right? It's like neutral, or it's not very remarkable either way. And I wonder if that's like, that's the result of not seizing your chances. Like if you, presumably it's for love, right? So if you like, I know you go like confess to a girl, then maybe it'll be like really good because you succeed, or it'll be like really bad because like she rejects you. But I guess it's better than not doing it and then you're like neither warm nor cold. You're just like in regret, I guess. Maybe, but I mean, this one is. I mean, I'm using a male perspective here, obviously, but all right, it does. I think it's plausible that this is from a female perspective. Like, I think the translation into a female pronouns here makes sense. So I guess for here, so it's not like she's. I'm not saying she's regretting that she didn't confess to some boy, but I think yeah, maybe it is right that there is a yeah, some sense of regret and lost opportunities in this piece. Wow. And then looking at the title again, so literally it says like it's already cold, it's already cool. So I think that's also like, that's interesting, right? That's like, wow, maybe our relationship has already, or what could have been something has already cooled off. It has already passed. So yeah, wow. Okay, so I think I buy the reading that this is about missed opportunity in love. Yeah, okay. Any thoughts, guys? I think, wow, I'm like, my mind is blown. This is really, really, wow. I mean, it could also just be about cold weather. Like maybe I'm overreading, but I think it's possible. Yeah. Okay. If there aren't any, if none of you have any comments, I'll just look through this again and then we can move on to the next poem. Yeah, I think they're right. It is a poem about, what is a poem about? Missed opportunities, I guess. Yeah. Okay, so next one by, it's Wei, right? Wei Zhuang. Wei Zhuang, A Nanjing Landscape, 金陵图. It's 江雨霏霏，江草齐，六朝如梦，鸟空啼。无情最是台城柳，依旧烟笼十里地。低 Though a shower bends the river grass, a bird is singing, while ghosts of the six dynasties pass like a dream. Around the forbidden city, under weeping willows, which loom still for 3 miles along the misty moat. I don't know. I don't think the Forbidden City was built. I mean, what we now call the Forbidden City is in Beijing, but this is in Nanjing, right? So, but I guess by Forbidden City is saying like the place where the emperor lives. Yeah. Okay, so what is it saying? What? The shower is a rain lah. It's talking about the rain. So, so even though the rain is falling, I don't know. I don't think they're bending. I think the grass is like even, right? I guess maybe they're made even because they're all bent. Okay, sure. And then, I mean, okay, I feel like this translation is weird. So the six dynasties, that's like just some of the dynasties that precede the Tang. So essentially, it's like semi-recent past. You can think of it like that. So they're like dreams. Oh, maybe not semi-recent. It's pretty distant, but it's not like. I guess for us it would be like something like the Victorian era, like that far back, like the 19th century. But it's not like ancient history. Yeah. So okay, so the six dynasties are like a dream, and then the birds, the bird, the bird chirps emptily or like hollowly. And then of the most heartless, the most 无情, the most emotionless are the willows in the, I'm guessing the emperor's estate. And then as old, like usual, the smoke shrouds the moat. Okay, the dike that spans 10 li, which is apparently 3 miles. 10 li is just a unit of distance. Okay. So there's something like, I'm reading this as like I think there's a sense of regret here, right? Or like, it's like nostalgia, but also not really. Maybe nostalgia. Because it is talking about the past, like the six dynasties is like a dream. And right after that, it says the birds are chirping emptily. So I suppose maybe Nanjing, it still has the remains like some buildings from those times, the six dynasties, but it's sort of hollow or it's empty, right? Because sort of missing what makes it good. But I don't think the six dynasties was like a golden age too. Let me see what is going on here. Okay. Okay, there's a funny comment. It's like this is giving this Wikipedia, I mean this Chinese Wikipedia article is giving like a Marxist reading. So it's quite funny. It's like, oh, this is depicting the historical materialism of the of the author. Some Marxist thing. I mean, he could be right. I don't know, but I just thought it was interesting that it was in Wikipedia, Chinese Wikipedia. I mean, it's Baidu, yeah. Sort of, eh? Wait, this is a different piece. A 精灵图 by Wei Zhuang, this is correct, but what? Maybe there's another poem. Maybe I'm on the wrong article. Okay, why don't I just copy this first line and see what it gives me? But that's strange. There's either an error in Wikipedia or the website. Right, this calls it Taichung instead of 精灵图. Really? Let me just Google this. Okay, I think then maybe there's a mistake in this website because they're giving a different title. They're calling this Taichung. So let's see what this is then. Right, yeah. So it is about the sort of the reminiscing about the six dynasties. And then I guess the Taichung, the Forbidden City, was from the six dynasties, but now it's sort of run down, dilapidated. In the third and fourth lines, they say it's about how the landscape remains the same. I guess so. There is this line that's like 依旧, right? It's like as old, like you old the mist. I guess it's smoke. Yeah, but it still envelopes, it still shrouds the 3 mile dike, I guess. Interesting. Let's look at this. I'm not sure what he thinks about the Sixth Dynasty, actually. Like why this sense of reminiscing, of nostalgia. Okay, so Nanjing, this place was the capital city back in the Six Dynasties. Okay. Wow, I think I'm sort of missing the significance of the city. Like I feel like it's very symbolically powerful, but I'm kind of missing out on that dimension. That's why I'm not giving that good analysis here. Strange. But I mean, presumably, to be writing this poem, he must think that things are less good now than before. right? Hmm. Hmm. There's this one which says, uh, this is my favorite phrase in classical Chinese. It's wu hu. It's just like it basically sounds like someone is crying, and that's kind of the effect. Because it's just like, oh, why? It's like a lament. So it's like, so there's this one critic who says, oh, the I guess the distance between the past and present, how is it limited to the willows in the forbidden city? So, mm, yeah, it's about. I mean, yeah, I mean, obviously, that's what's happening in the poem, right? Like he's not just talking about the willows, but the what's happening in the whole city or the whole his whole era. Hmm. Why is the willows have no feelings? I don't understand that. Oh, okay, okay. So it's not that the willows changed, but it's the willow is on it doesn't change. Okay, what does this say? So the six dynasties are like a dream. So everything is empty or everything is transient. And then the thing that is like old is only the willows. But that's not true, what? Because he's also saying like the mist is like old times. But anyway, he says, yeah, the only thing that is of like old times is the willow, and that's what it's called without emotion. Uh, but those that have emotion cannot help but feel sadness or grief, and this can be known. Hmm. Maybe okay, this is a stretch, but maybe he's saying that like if you're a willow in the forbidden city and you have seen how much things have changed, like if they had any feeling at all, then they would be so sad that they would die. It's kind of, I guess I can see that. Okay. Hmm. So the willow, hmm. Okay, okay. I'll go with that reading. I mean, the Wuqing, um, yeah, I think they are picking up on the two characters, which is like these two, right? Ijo and like old. So I think that's what even from the first read, we picked up on the nostalgia here, right? It's like we have the six dynasties are like a dream, and then of old. So I mean, clearly now that we've read it this much, we know that the main theme is about the relation of the past and the present, and but it's still not very clear to me what exactly it's saying. It seems like the present is worse. The present can't match up to the past. But also there is a sense of like continuity, right? Since the mist is still the same, I guess the willows are still the same. You know, maybe even the first part, like I mean, I'm sure back in the day there was rain and like birds chirped. I mean, birds are literally chirping where I am now. So I think that's pretty timeless. Yeah, I wonder if you can hear the bird. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to go to Nanjing to really appreciate this. But but yeah, I think that's kind of it from me for this poem. Nothing. Yeah. I don't know. I think this is something I need to revisit in the future once I have a better understanding of I guess the context, because it is still kind of I feel I'm still missing the point here. Yeah. Okay, but maybe let's move on to the next one for now. By Chen Tao. So this is Long Xixing. Long Xixing. So Turkestan. So I guess this is the old name for the old Chinese name for Turkestan. Right? This is a country, right? In Central Asia. Yeah. So right. 事扫匈奴不顾身，5000雕颈丧胡尘。可怜无定河边骨，犹是深闺梦里人。Thinking only of their vow and that they would crush the Tartars. On the desert, clad in sable and silk, 5,000 of them fell, but arisen from their crumbling bones on the bank of the river at the border. Dreams of them enter, like men alive, into rooms where their loves lie sleeping. Wait, what? Oh, there's a literal translation. Maybe we can read this too. Pledge to sweep the Xiongnu. So these are like, yeah, just the Tartars, I guess. Pledge to sweep the Xiongnu away without fear for their own safety. 5,000 clad in sable and brocade perished in the dust of Hu. Pity the bones littering the banks of the Wuding River. They were the very people dreamt of in ladies' bed chambers. Interesting. Okay. So I guess the last line is saying that okay, so this interpretation is that I guess their wives are sort of missing, like thinking of these soldiers sent out to battle, but they're all dead. Hmm. Wow. That's kind of depressing. Oh, I mean, this is like classic war poetry. Yeah. Let's go through it line by line then. Yeah, so yeah, this is a pretty good literal translation, but I'll just I'll just do my own translation here. So swearing to sweep, I mean I guess to destroy completely the Xiongnu, which is I guess the native people of Turkestan. And they don't, without regard for their own safety, yeah, so not caring about their own body, their life. And then 5,000 in, what was it, sable and brocade, just their uniform. They perish in the dust of Hu. So I think this is just a place. Or maybe Hu is also a name for like the foreign peoples of Central Asia. So could also be the dust kicked up by, the soldiers, right? And then what's this? 可怜 Uding. Uding, sorry, Uding is the river. So it's pitiful that the Uding rivers, the bones at the side of Uding River are exactly the men dreamt inside the bed chambers, ladies' bed chambers. Yeah. Mm. I mean, the theme is pretty clear, right? It's like, it sure sucks that people die. Okay, not to play it down. I mean, it is really sad that these people die like fighting for their country. Yeah, I guess it depends on who they're fighting for, right? Who they're fighting against. So, and as for why they're fighting in Turkestan, just remember that in the Tang dynasty, their territory, I guess like China, right? Back then the Chinese state was quite big and it actually stretched into parts of Central Asia because they were controlling the Silk Road, right? So uh yeah, and to defend like that whole trade route, they do fight against like they do fight enemies there. But now that I think about it, I'm not sure who are the good guys. Like, are the Chinese people the good guys? But they're not. I don't know. I mean, depends on who they're fighting against. Yeah. But I suppose from the perspective of the Chinese poet, though, then these should be the good guys. Hmm. I don't know. I don't know what else to. I mean, it seems like a pretty straightforward poem. It's like a war poem, or like war is hell. I mean, okay, that's war is hell is more like a 20th century thing, but it is saying that it's sad that people lost their lives to defend this place. Okay, and okay, for this, right, there's actually a group of poems. Uh, so there's four of them, and it says only the second one was more widely uh recited, lah, which is true. So the one we read was the second one. Oh, but interestingly, they say this is not in the Tang. This is talking about a Han Dynasty general, Li Ling. Interesting. So if it's about the Han Dynasty, why are they in Turkestan? Okay, sure. So it's a Han Dynasty general. He went out to, I guess, attack the people there. So this character, this is Fa, for those learning Chinese. Fa, so usually it means like in class we'll translate it as like a punitive expedition, which means you go and attack them because they did something wrong. Like you're sort of teaching them a lesson in the invasion. But I don't know if this is just I don't know if it's a fair description for this case because I don't know what the story is. But essentially they went to invade I mean attack some people in Turkestan, and then but the entire Chinese troops, they all died. So okay. And reflects, right? So this is a reflection of how in the Tang Dynasty, there is just so much warfare along the border. Because like I said, they're trying to defend the Silk Road, which is, hugely important for their trade and economy, right? Okay. All right, there are the other poems. I don't think we'll look through all of them. So let's see what they're saying. Okay, they all seem to be picking out the final line, which is that's interesting. Huh. This guy is like, oh, if you read the last two lines, it's like makes you want to cry. It's like, oh, every word is one tear, and you're not able to read it. Hmm. Interesting. Yeah, they're all praising the last two lines. Oh, this is an interesting comment. So it says like they are the people in the dreams, right? The people who who died lah in the war. They are the people in the dreams. He says that it's notable that they say it's the people in the dreams, but not the spirits in the dreams or the souls in the dreams. So it sort of gives, by still describing them as people, it sort of, they feel more alive, right? That's pretty interesting. That's a good point. Yeah. Hmm. Wow, everyone loves this. Interesting. Okay. Oh, Jess says you think it might be modern day Xinjiang because the Xiongnu were in Mongolia and Xinjiang. Interesting. Okay. I wonder what's Turkestan then. Why is Turkestan just like, oh, am I confusing it with Turkmenistan? Oh no. Wait, okay, let me Google that. Turkestan. It's a region in, oh, okay. So it corresponds to Xinjiang. Okay, okay. You're right, you're right. Damn, okay. Okay, so I guess history repeats itself there. Uh Chinese for a Chinese presence in Turkestan. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, thanks for that. I had no idea that, that it was yeah, in Xinjiang. Okay. So hmm. I guess I don't really have much more to analyze for this, except that mm, except that yeah, the last two lines are very good. As everyone, as all these critics have pointed out, it is very well written, and yeah, and I guess it's not like, even if, well, I guess if the entire army died, then their deaths are not going to be reported back so soon as well. So I wonder if this is describing that time when, the people, their wives or their families at home still don't know about the news, and they're still, so praying that they come back. I think that is a very poignant scene. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Maybe we can move to the next poem, which is by Zhang Bi. Okay. A message, 寄人. What does it say? 别梦依依到谢家，小厅回合曲阑斜。多情只有春庭月，犹为离人照落花。I go in a dream to the house of Xie, through a zigzag porch with arching rails, to a court where the spring moon lights forever, phantom flowers, and a single figure. Wait, what? Wait, he wrote this as a message to someone? Hmm. Wow. Okay, I don't know if I need to know who the House of Xie is. I probably should. All right, let's see. Okay, is the 谢 important here? Okay, it means this 寡中女子. I think it just means like a young girl. Let me just check. Sorry, 待 归中. Okay, yeah, it's just like a young girl then. Okay. So let's try to give this a read and get a meaning first before we look more at the interpretations. Okay, so in a dream, he goes to, I guess, his crush's house, right? And then he's sort of like going in the house. So yeah, through a zigzag porch with arching rails. Okay, this is like it's missing something. This is that which has many feelings is only the moon in the spring moon in the courtyard. Yeah, the spring moon in the courtyard. So only the spring moon in the courtyard has feelings. As though it is illuminating the fallen flowers for the person leaving. Okay, I think this English translation is missing out quite a bit. I mean, the first two lines are fine, but yeah. So only the moon has many feelings. And usually when it says like 多情, these feelings are like good feelings, right? Or like when you say someone is 无情, like no feelings, it means they're like heartless or like almost like not a person, inhumane, right? So it's weird that they're saying only the moon has feelings here. And I'm not sure. So the translator read the 离人, like the departing person, as like there actually being a person leaving the courtyard. Oh. What is it just for the poet? I don't know. But it's illuminating the falling flowers for this departing person. Um, hmm. Why? So okay, so he has a crush. He's at his crush's house, but if only the moon has feelings, I'm gonna guess the crush is not into him. Wow, literary analysis. But yeah, okay. And then I guess seems like the fallen flowers are a symbol of his rejection. And only the moon has pity on him. Okay, that's my official interpretation. All right, let's see what people who actually know their stuff are saying. Okay. Oh, huh. Okay, that's interesting. This is a reunion in the dream. Really? Really? So is this the second line is like a flashback to the past? Okay. And then the third line says, yeah, it says the moon has feelings, and so that means the girl doesn't have any feelings, right? And the last one says, there's resentment in the fallen flowers. Really? What? What? Okay, I think I do see something here. So I think they're trying to say that like it's like he's expecting like a reunion at like the girl's house. But when he goes in, there's only the fallen flowers. And that's why the departed person is like the girl. So it's almost like she didn't show up for their meeting, I suppose. Like it's like at her house too. So she didn't come. And all that's left are the fallen flowers. That's also why only the moon has feelings, because the girl uh didn't show up, I suppose. Hmm. I mean, if she's not at her house, she must have moved, right? Huh. Okay, looking at the famous comments. It's the last two lines from saying there's no feelings, it reverses into being full of emotion. It reverses to having feelings. And this guy says, this poem is all the words of someone smitten with love, I guess. Sort of 情痴, like, yeah, just kind of dumb with love. Really? It seems kind of, I guess. Because if he's dreaming of his crush, but why does he dream of a rejection? Huh. Okay. Here's one reading, because it's like, I mean, if you think about the previous poem, right, where how dreams are usually used, it's like you dream of like reuniting, but here it's like even in a dream where anything can happen. The girl still didn't show up, so it's like even worse. So that's okay. When I put it like that, it sounds kind of dumb, but I think it makes sense though. Hmm. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Okay. But why is it called a message? That's also weird. Why is the title like this? Hmm. Well, who knows? Sorry, I'm a bit tired, but huh. Maybe he sent a message to her, but she didn't show up. But it's her house. Huh. Oh. Oh, what? Oh, they think that the second two lines is actually after the dream. So the first two lines like, oh, in my dream, I went to your house, right? But then and then in real life, when I actually went there, there's only the moon and the fallen flowers. Oh, damn, that's sad. Okay, that makes sense as well. Oh, oh, I think that's also possible. Well, okay, I think I might just move on to the next poem. I don't know why it's called A Message, but it's I think this is a good poem though. I quite enjoyed this. All right, then the next one by Wu Mingshi, just by anonymous, yeah. And then The Day of No Fire, 杂诗. Oh, one of you just had a comment. Maybe what he's taking everything that happened in his dream as a message if he shouldn't hold himself accountable for whatever happened to his love. Interesting. Huh. So are you saying that maybe something bad happened to his like girlfriend or Oh, so the dream is the message. That's what you're saying. Oh, that's interesting. That's really possible though. I guess my question is like, so how far of this is a dream? Because at first I read the whole thing as being a dream, right? And then some people say, I mean, the article said maybe it's only the first two lines. So I really wonder where the dream is, if the dream is the message. Sorry, I have a cold. Okay, let's see. Okay, if the whole thing is a dream, then maybe then the message is that the message is that the relationship is over. Because if only the first two lines is a dream, then it's sort of a bad message, right? The first two lines is like, oh, I'm going to her house. Oh, is the message, maybe the message is that he should go to her house. And then when he actually goes there and he finds that she's not there, and then and so the dream helped him figure out that the relationship is over. That's possible. That's possible. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Oh. Any more thoughts on this? Oh, you say maybe. Maybe. Okay. Yeah. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I like the idea that the dream is the message. Because I don't see any other message here. And there's no way, unless he wrote this poem as like a letter to someone, but who would he be addressing? Like he wrote this to his like ex-girlfriend. That's kind of weird. I guess it could be. It could be. Okay. Right. If there aren't any more thoughts, maybe I'll just move on to the next one. Okay. Just all right. So the next one is by Anonymous. Okay. In Chinese, the title is like 杂诗, is like uh just random poems. Not random, like assorted or like miscellaneous poems. But in English, I guess they gave it the name The Day of No Fire. I think it makes sense that it sort of like doesn't have a title, right? Because it's by Anonymous. So it's just all you have is the text itself. All right, so let's go. 静寒时雨，草萋萋，着麦，right？ 着麦苗风柳杨啼，等是有家归未得，杜鹃啼，杜鹃休向耳边啼。 Okay, that was pretty bad recitation. Maybe let me do it again. 静寒时雨草萋萋，竹麦苗风柳映滴。董事有家归未得，杜鹃休向耳边啼。As the holiday approaches and grasses are bright after rain, and the causeways gleam with willows, and wheat fields wave in the wind, we are thinking of our kinsfolk far away from us. O cuckoo, why do you follow us? Why do you call us home? Huh. So, I mean, from the hint from the title, The Day of No Fire, I think we've read a poem before where it's like a festival, or I guess a spring festival where you're not allowed to light a fire. But let's look at the context for this. Oh, dang. Okay. I guess, all right, let's number 13. Right, okay. All right, there's not a lot of useful information here. All right, I guess we have to roll with what we have. So we know that okay, so it's some sort of holiday, and it's some sort of, I mean, it's a good holiday, right? It's like supposed to be happy. Okay, and then it just rained. And then, okay, plants are shining and waving in the wind. Okay. Ah, but this is about the people who can't go home. So they have a home, but they cannot return. And then these cuckoo birds. Oh, so this is literally saying like, oh cuckoo, stop. Stop screeching in my ear. I mean, not screeching, stop chirping, stop crying towards my ear. Yeah. I wonder if there's any symbolic significance to the bird here. But I think the idea is clear, right? Like the chirp is to, so just making them feel worse, and because they cannot return home. Okay. Oh, but isn't the cuckoo isn't the cuckoo the bird that like lays their eggs in other people's nests? This is the same bird, right? Let me check. The lesser cuckoo. Oh, it's usually called. Huh. Oh, in Korean literature, it represents the sound of sadness. That's interesting. Okay. Hmm. Okay, that's possible. I don't know if that's true here as well, but I mean, it fits the theme, right? The sound of sadness. Hmm. Right. Okay. I don't think I can go so far to say that the cuckoo. I don't think they associate the cuckoo with like stealing people's homes. Like they lay their eggs in other people's nests. Because I'm not even sure if the same bird lah, honestly. So, uh, well, okay. Let's go. It does seem like it is something to do with being sad and lonely. Hmm. And yeah, I guess it's just like, imagine it's like Christmas, and then you're away from home, and this like freaking bird keeps like chirping in your ear. I'll be pretty annoyed too. Wow. This top level literary analysis. The birds are annoying. Okay, let's see what this says. And let me know if you have any comments, by the way. Yeah, okay, so it's saying it's at it's festive occasion, but some people they can't go back home. And then when they hear it says the bird, the cuckoo like crying so sadly, they feel even sadder. So this is a unique rhythm, really. I'm pretty sure this is from another article. But yeah, okay, this makes sense. Is this the beat is different? It's like 133. Really, I don't really see it though. Okay. But yeah, birds are annoying. I just find this idea so funny. It's like you're I don't know, in an apartment alone, like next to a Christmas tree, and then this bird just comes in like squawking at you. Okay. But yeah, it's good poem, good poem. All right, let's go to the next one then. All right, one of you say, is the bird of holiday blues. Yeah. And I laugh at it now, but I'll be so sad if it happens to me in real life. It's like karma, like 5 years later, it happens to me. I'll think back to this moment. Oh, okay, we're back to this guy, Wang Wei. Wang Wei. I think he's I quite like this poet. We read some of his stuff earlier as well. So he's the Buddhist one, the 空山不见人，但闻人语响. It's like you don't see people in the empty mountain. Yeah. All right, so this one is Wei Cheng. So a song at Wei Cheng Zhi, a song at Wei Cheng. Let's just look at things. All right. 渭城朝雨浥轻尘，客舍青青柳色新。劝君更尽一杯酒，西出阳关无故人。Oh, I know this. This is famous. Okay. A morning rain has settled the dust in Weichong. Willows are green again in the tavern dooryard. Wait till we empty one more cup. West of Yanggate, there will be no old friends. So this is a genre of poem called I forgot the name, but it's like send-off farewell poems. So essentially, like if you're not, I mean, well, you don't have to be official, but at least for officials back in the day, like you'll get like deployed to different areas in the country, right? So then sometimes you get like deployed somewhere far away and you have to move away from like all your friends and stuff. So there is this genre of like, writing poems for like to send off your friend. And you don't have to be an official to move, right? I'm sure normal people also like moved around as well. So, but this is an established genre, like the farewell poem. That's why it's saying like, what is like, bro, just stay and have one more drink with us. Once you leave the gate, then there won't be any old friends. I think a recurring theme of this sort of poem is like basically before it's like a bachelor's party. It's like before the guy leaves, you're just gonna like get smashed. You're just gonna drink a lot and then so you sort of like as the guy sort of like leaving, then you sort of like follow him for a bit and then like drink together for a while. And then after a certain point, then he's just on his own. So I think this is sort of trying to capture that. It's just, yeah, let's just spend a bit more time together. Yeah. So quite a beautiful friendship being depicted here. I guess in terms of analysis, I wonder what the first two lines are doing, because the meat of it is like in the second line, right? But if you just say the last two lines, it's kind of lame. I feel like the first two lines sort of set it up. So I wonder how it does that. Okay, so there's a morning rain in Weichong, and then there's like moist dust. Okay, so that's sort of, I mean, it's like morning, so it's kind of like, feels kind of nice, but I guess the vibe is also sort of heavy because it's moist. That makes sense. Okay, and then 客舍, I think, yeah, this is the tavern, or like right, the tavern. And then there's looking at the greenness of as the freshness, because right, it's new, right? So the greenness of the willow, and it's kind of, I suppose it represents new beginnings. So there's a sense of heaviness, and then there's new beginnings, which I think perfectly encapsulates this idea of like you're moving to somewhere new, and it's exciting because you're starting something new, but at the same time you're also leaving things behind. In other words, I think it's a very good poem. Like he sort of sets it up thematically in the first two lines, and then sort of is more explicit about what it's about in the second two lines. And yeah. Okay, I'm a Wang Wei fanboy, so I feel like I'll like anything he writes. But it does seem like, just reading the poem, it's pretty good. Okay, yeah. So I do like this quite a bit. Let's see. This is the one, right? Here there's a different name for it, called 宋仁20西安, Anxi. Yeah, this is the title I knew it as. So I was a bit surprised when it had this 魏崇曲 title. Oh, but it is a Weichong, so maybe it's just an alternative title. Okay. Yeah, it's really famous. So, oh wow. Okay, so sorry, I have a cold. Yeah. So his friend is not just going to like anywhere, he's going to like the border. So it's pretty freaking far. Okay. So his friend is Ren Er. Yeah, and then they were just like, so from the capital, they sort of went all the way to Weichong, and that's where they finally parted. And this is like his final gift to his friend before they sort of went their separate ways. Yeah. Wow. I don't know, it's really nice. I feel like if your friend is going on a trip, like this would be a nice poem to send them if they read Chinese. Just say what? Yeah, just recite the last two lines. 劝君更尽一杯酒，西出阳关无故人。Okay, Let's see some famous critics. You can see people love the poem because there's so many comments. Most of them are just said that it's really good. It's just, yeah, people all know the goodness of the last two lines, but they forget about the first two. Yeah, I agree. Like, if you didn't have the first two, I think it would be a bit too abrupt. So I think the first two lines do set up the next two pretty well. Okay. So is this the place where they're meeting, or when it says about the gate of Yang, right? Is already outside like sort of the central area of China. And so the place he's going is even further out. And when he says that, when west of Yang Gate there won't be any old friends, right? Then let alone the place he needs to go, his destination. That's pretty wow. Yeah, so it's like he's sort of understating his case, but yeah, but like he's not saying that, your destination has no friends. It's like even before you reach there, you're gonna be lonely. Wow, that's really well done. Okay. I don't really have much else to add for this. It's just it's just a good poem. Yeah. Any thoughts from you? Or we could move on to the last one as well. Uh, right. Let me just paste. Well, I want to send you guys this. And yeah, just try to remember this. I feel like if you have a Chinese friend and then like if you just send them these last two lines when they go on a trip, they'll be very impressed. So I don't know, you can like impress girls or like, I don't know, your crush with this. But yeah, I really like this a lot. It's okay. Oh wow, another Wang Wei poem. Yeah, let's see. So Wang Wei, A Song of an Autumn Night, 秋夜曲. Right, let me just see if you have any more comments for the previous one. Okay, I guess not. So I'll just move on to this then. So 桂魄初生，秋露微，轻罗已薄，未更衣，营蒸夜酒，烟情弄，心切空房不忍归。Under the crescent moons, a light autumn dew has chilled the robe she will not change, and she touches a silver lute all night, afraid to go back to her empty room. Huh. Huh. So why does she? Okay, I didn't think. Okay, I guess afraid is appropriate here, but there's also this sense of like she cannot bear to return, right? So is this the final line? Is like her heart is afraid of the empty room, and she cannot bear to return. So if you just have afraid, it's like it feels like I don't know, maybe her room is haunted. But I think this one is about I think it's about love again. I think it's like she cannot bear to go back to because the room is empty. It doesn't have her lover. Yeah, so just I think there's more to it just from than just fear. There's like yeah, this is not a ghost poem, is what I'm saying. It's not Scooby-Doo. It's something else going on. Okay. This is a okay. So why so I guess she's by touching the silver lute. I don't know. As in if we read this as like a like she's missing someone, right? Then maybe the lute reminds her of that person. I don't know, huh? Let's see. Okay. Huh. Oh, it seems like a pretty straightforward poem then. It's like she just doesn't want to go back and yeah, and just and even though it's like really cold and I think she is like it's not comfortable the fact that she's not at she's outside. So she I mean it's really cold, right? And then the fact that she will not change, I think she's just sort of being or it's like the emotional pain of going back is worse than the physical pain of just staying out. So yeah, I think that's what the state that's being conveyed here. Yeah, there's nothing. Okay, there's only two famous critics. Yeah, I guess the only interesting point I see here is that when she's playing the lute, it's because she not because she likes it, or it's really just to sort of occupy her and like distract her from the loneliness. Yeah, I think honestly, I feel like that's about it for from me. I'm not sure what else there is to say about this. Oh, oh, that's an interesting comment. You said you think the flute held a very sweet memory for her. That's possible, right? Yeah, yeah. So she's scared to be alone and to go back. And so she just plays the lute, which might have, maybe I don't know, yeah, maybe it was just a shared memory with the lute. And one of you say, you agree that she sounds very grief stricken. Yeah, I think so. And actually, I think I downplayed like the fear aspect of it, but maybe that's important. Because at least usually in this sort of poems, it's not phrased in terms of fear. I wonder what is she afraid of her loneliness or she's afraid of I don't know, is fear yeah, I just find the fact that it's described as fear very, very interesting. Like, huh. But yeah, okay. But it seems like it is a fear that's growing out of heartbreak or yeah, just loneliness. So I guess she's scared. I mean, she's literally scared to be alone. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. I think if there's isn't anything else, right, I might call it a day. My throat is pretty. I don't. Yeah, I'm surprisingly tired from speaking for 2 hours. And yeah, having a bit of a cold, but it's interesting because we're already at 3:13. So if we do another 10 next week, we'll go all the way through to. Oh, I guess we're already at this 7-character quatrain, right? I think then we might actually loop back into something else. What's the next genre? Do you guys have any genre you want to look at? If we do these are pretty long. All these, but I think they're actually pretty fun. I don't mind just working through them slowly. And we started with this 五言绝句. So yeah, I guess we could just keep on going, and then from next week we'll do a few of these longer poems, which would be very interesting, I think. This 5-character ancient verse. So yeah, okay. Thanks for everyone who's here, and I guess I'll just call it a day. And next week we're gonna loop back to some of the first poems in the collection, where we'll start with the 5-character ancient verse. Yeah. All right. Thanks for coming then, and I'll see you all next week. Sorry for the first few minutes where I didn't unmute myself. So I will put a comment with a timestamp for skipping to the part where I start talking. All right. So thanks, guys. Bye bye.